Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong button. So as I was saying in the last video, so down in the basement there, you can see like there's nothing leaking in there right now. So maybe just digging out the basement as far as I did would be all it'd be nice if that's all I have to do. But I got to do other things down there, such as the RPR 86. Going to do the whole basement floor, especially on that side because it looks that's where all the moisture was. And I still like I won't know until the spring how much that's going to leak on the back wall, if it's going to leak at all. Because okay, you guys saw how big that freaking rock plate was. Like my dad said, yeah, there's a huge rock plate down there. And even as a kid, I know I crawled in there when I was a kid with my cousin. Though we played in there, make it a spooky cave or whatever. Right? My grandfather, like, get out of there! It's not healthy. Okay, so go play somewhere else. Go play in the burns. Well, don't play on the hay. You're gonna ruin the hay. Go play somewhere else. And go play somewhere else. Well, don't do that. You're gonna ruin that. When I was a kid, all the adults would say, "Oh, when you're a kid, you can be up in the countryside. You go scream, and yell, do whatever you want. And you start screaming and yelling, and doing what you want. Like, yeah, don't do that. You're making too much noise. Who am I going to disturb? Like, I'm in the middle of the countryside. Like, I gotta laugh, right? You gotta laugh. But no, the crawl space, as you've seen, like there's definitely issues in there to deal with. But the main one is keeping it dry. But that big rock plate, like if I've, like you got to think, okay, the rock plate's here, my cinder blocks are going to be here, and then if this is the top of the base plate of the house, the dirt was about there on the back, right, on one side, and then down to about there, right, above the actual siding. Now it's below that. So that means if the water comes in, just the way it is right now, the water comes in, it's going to pool up there first, leak down below the blocks, and it's going to get probably blocked by that big ass boulder that takes up the whole side of the crawl space there. Um, Definitely a solid structure there. I don't think my grandfather could have picked a bigger rock to build on. That's for sure. But the whole area is like this. It's like it's all beach sand, and then you dig down. Like as soon as you get down a foot, 2 feet, there's like it must have been a prehistoric lake bed or something like that. Who knows? But anyway, that is one hell of a rock shield down there. Holy jeez, all those big stones and everything. They just as soon as they found the rock, I guess they just left everything else. It's like, well, it's not really going to do anything. But you can see where it was dug out. I don't know if my grandfather dug that out or my brother dug that out beside the wall, and he thought that it'd fill in there. But where he really needed to dig out was the back wall, and I believe my grandfather used to keep the back wall dug out just because of the way the hill rose. Now, the way that hill is going to erode, it's not going to happen overnight, but maybe every 3, 4, 5 years you got to dig it out, keep it back. So I want to move it back like 10, 12 feet over time. But for now, I'd be happy if I can get at least that far off the wall and down to the top of the first cinder block. There's only 3 cinder blocks there, hence why the house is kind of wonky there. Right here, the house, the base is pretty much full basement, right? Um, so back in the day, like I say, people just built things. They didn't really. There was no building codes when this thing was probably built. You know what I mean? Like this is a very, very old house. Um, and they just built something to live in. Like they didn't overthink it. So when I get that RPR 86 and the RPR 141, what seems to be the products that people say are the best, but the caveat is, and there's a couple other Chromium, whatever it's called, that one too. They say it works, but the thing is you have to be putting it on a dry surface or it doesn't work. So there's that. And then for the smell, you can do the ozone treatment. All that stuff, like the ozone treatment, if I bought an ozone machine, like there is issues that you have to watch out for. Like what I'd do is I'd empty a room, which wouldn't take me long. There's not too much furniture in here really. Got one, but you have to watch out for like it dries out seals like on your fridge and stuff like that. So because ozone like erode, like it depletes plastic, right? So, um, but it kills a lot of odors. So an ozone treatment is something that could be considered. But before I even spend money like on the machines, like a good one's about 200-300 bucks, a cheap one's like about 70-80 bucks. You know what I mean. Um, and all it is think of like somebody welding, okay, and they've got an arc welder and they've got a plate that the arc is going on, but they just keep the arc and you can see like it looks like lightning, right? Well, off of that arc you get your ozone, right? It creates ozone gas, and I don't know what kind of plate that it is it's arced against, but it's some sort of a ceramic plate or something like that. That's coated with, well, I don't know what it'd be coated with to be able to maintain the arc or whatever. And you can do a treatment that'll get rid of a lot of smells and stuff like that, and it actually the ozone eats the bacteria is what it does. But if I have to go to that level, I don't know if I'll have to go to that level. I'll know in about a month or two if okay, it's like all I could still like every rainy day or high humidity day, all you smell is dog in here. Then yeah, but right now it's like it's 75 humidity. Yesterday was 86. If it was going to stink, those were and it's like if I get over in the corner, I think it's in the register. But once I vacuum that out, there's probably a ton of dog hair in there. That's probably where the smell is because like it doesn't seem to be anywhere else in the house. You can smell it on the porch because I haven't swept off the porch. And right just as you're coming in the house, it actually smells worse just where you come. Remember, you guys might remember quite a few videos back. I lifted up. There was a mat on the ground, a carpet, and it was just full of dog hair and all that. Well, the ground there still stinks like dog hair because you can still see some of the dog hair. Just it's all over the yard, right? So it's like actually infused into the ground. So you could actually smell more of the dog right there, but that's going to go away over time because it's going to break down, right? But and I haven't been able to really truly sweep out the veranda, aka my garage, yet because it's just I'm just starting to tackle that spot now. So in here, like I got most of it. I've swept twice now, and then I still got pile there to clean up. I'll clean that up today. I still got to get that little matte piece of carpet out, which I would do that today, but I left my freaking toolbox. I did it on purpose because my other client had the car full of stuff. So I said, yeah, I'll leave my other tools there and I'll get it. I'm going to need them there next week anyway. So, okay, they're already there. But my cutting knife might be in there. So my X-Acto knife. But if not, I might have another X-Acto knife kicking around. And if I do, I'm going to cut out that piece of carpet today. Which it does go underneath that shelf, right? And I'm still debating whether I'm going to keep that or not. I don't know. I kind of don't want it in here. I don't know. I just like yes, it's storage, but I view it as a not storage. I view it as clutter. You know what I mean? Like it's like how many pieces like even up home I'm starting because I'm like Mr. Remember was it Billy Crystal, Mr. Mom? He starts cleaning the house and all that there, Mr. Yeah. Yeah, I'm in Mr. Mom mode where it's like I just any dirt I see, like the house is turning me into a neat freak, right? Where I walk along, if I see someone with dirty face, go start cleaning their faces. I'd probably get punched if I did that. But you know what I mean? Like you're in that mode. So like even up home, oh, I'm gonna throw that out. I'm gonna throw this out. Like get rid of it all. Right? Just declutter your life as much as you can. Um, like I mean, I don't own a lot of stuff. I really don't. And because I don't own a lot of stuff, that's a major line for me. My three biggest pain in the asses for stuff to own is the two trucks and the sailboat, right? Because it's like to maintain it while I got to do all this stuff, and I still got to clean up the boat and stuff like that. If I can get that thing sold this year, next year, I'd be very happy. The trucks, it's just they're sitting there deteriorating, and I'd rather somebody get some use out of them than them deteriorate, right? And I don't want to send my uncle's, God rest him, I don't want to send that truck for scrap because it's like I rescued it so it wouldn't end up as scrap, right? But you know, the longer it sits there, I mean, it's not past the point of no return. And the same with my truck Thunder, it's not past the point of no return. But I need some place to put those trucks or get rid of them. You know what I mean? And there's no place down here where I could really like they'd still be out in the elements. Like I don't have a garage that I could put them in. I could get like a Tempo and put them in that, but same thing. Now you have them in something that's going to hold in heat and humidity. like my there's no quick fix for stuff like that. Like a lot of people think, well, I'll just buy a carport and not the Tempo or whatever, and that'll save the vehicle. No, it'll probably rot it and rust it twice as fast because the humidity stays in there, right? Uh, it really comes down to not so much what's above the vehicle, it's what it's parked on. That's why like city vehicles almost never get rust because they're always parked on pavement, right? So they can in the morning they don't have more the morning dew most of the time, right? So if you can keep the rain off the top, that's great. But if you can't keep the vehicle off the floor, I mean, it's going to rust anywhere you put it. You know what I mean? It's just how fast is it going to rust? So if I got rid of those three big things, the motorbike, I can, that'll fit on the Veranda, right? That's something I can deal with. But I might even get rid of the motorbike too, so I could buy another one. You know what I mean? Like something a little more cruiser oriented. I'd love to have a Triumph Thruxton. I think those are the most gorgeous. The 2013 to 2015 Triumph Thruxton, those green ones with the gold stripe there. I remember the first time I saw that in the showroom. I'm just like, that is so gorgeous. And I've sat on them a couple times. I've never rode one, but I know how to ride it. It reminds me. It's the same geometry as my old R60 BMW, like the R75s and stuff like that. It's same like that sport touring kind of setup, but like retro sport touring setup. So very comfortable. You could ride it all day. Um, Comfier than any Sportster. Probably better handling than any Sportster. Sportsters are comfortable, but they're more upright. They're more uh, like Sportsters are fine, but they're not very sporty. I'm sorry to anybody that has a Sportster, but no, you lean too much on a Sportster, you'll be scraping pegs very very easily. Where the Thruxton, you can lean it a little bit more. You got a little bit more ground clearance there. Like my R60 BMW, like I could actually scrape cylinders on the big boxer engine there. I was always my buddies were always impressed, especially on those skinny tires. When you think about it, they were really skinny tires for the size of the bike, and they're like, man, how do you go around the corner without skidding out? I said, well, as soon as I hear the cylinder scrape a bit there, then I that's as far as I can go. My TT600, my Triumph there. If I ever touch the pegs on that, I haven't been able to touch the pegs on that. That thing is probably going to lean like it's just I've never been on roads where I can lean it that far, like the knee down stuff. Like you can't get a knee down on that bike on Quebec roads because the Quebec roads are just not safety. Now, if they're freshly paved and you get the but like there's nowhere around here that requires like that much of a lean. Like if you lean that much, you go right into the ditch because that bike is just like a freaking. It's so nimble, right? You just go like this, and you're like, like it's so maneuverable. You just don't have to lean it that much, right? To get around even sharpest the corners. So unless it's a hook back or something like that. Anyway, a different topic for a different time. So yeah, getting rid of the clutter. I'm still in that mode. Like again, I probably thrown out a thousand containers just between these three bins. This is the third recycling bin round that I'm doing, and the second garbage bin round that I'm doing. Right, coming up this week, or the next Monday. Right, and I'll be on my third garbage thing, and then get all that full again. Like those bins, they're going to be full probably another 2 or 3 times. Uh, and then after that, like all the garbage down here is gone between the house and the woodshed. The barns, I'll deal with that next year. That's going to be like an ongoing cleanup project. But while I'm dropping trees and all that stuff. But the thing is the decluttering phase of it. Like guys, I'm telling you, you start doing this in your own home right now. Just start somewhere. Don't overthink it. Just that junk, yeah, get rid of it. Paper stuff is probably the worst. It's amazing how much paper you accumulate over a course of a year. You have stacks and stacks of stuff like that. I got that. You look at it, you're just overwhelmed. We'll just start with maybe the first 10 papers. I keep this. I'm not sure. Okay, put it aside. Okay, just go through the. As soon as you go through the stack once you get going on these things, it's like it seems like it's hard to get going, but once you get going, you just start going nuts and you start doing everything. Just just let yourself go. You know what I mean? Get into it, and then stop somewhere where it's going to bug you, because that'll be your motivation to get back to it again. Like that's what's happening for me. So, but I'm like again, I'm not really a messy person to begin with. Yeah, I'm always in work clothes, so I'm always scruffy looking. But that's because I'm always in work clothes. My good clothes, Well, you saw what I looked like the other day in my cowboy hat and the nice black shirt doing the "Mama I'm Coming Home" video. Yeah, I look pretty good in that. You know what I mean? When I'm all decked out, I look pretty good. Well, wasn't all decked out, but I look good in that, right? Yeah, it's like I look, pretty handsome in that. You know what I mean? Even with the scruffy, you might get rid of this today, but um, the point I'm making is my good clothes. I don't wear my good clothes until there's an event to wear my good clothes. But even at that, all the clothes I have, as I'm hanging them up, I'm like, do I really want to keep this? I haven't worn this in 20 years. You know what I mean? Give it away, sell it, whatever. Get rid of the old clothes, buy new clothes, get rid of the old clothes. You know what I mean? That's something I want to do. But like the thing is I want to buy like a whole. I'm using Einstein's theory here. Is Einstein bought the same type of shoes? Love Einstein, hate Einstein, whatever. But he bought the same type of shoes all the time. He also bought the same pants all the time, and pretty much the same shirt. So he always looked like he was wearing the same stuff all the time, but he wasn't. He bought it so he wouldn't have to think about. I guess that was the autism angle of it. Yeah, just no, this is what you wear and that's it. Well, I'm kind of the same. Okay, buy my work shirts. Okay, I don't care what the work shirt is. A shirt that's slated for destruction. If it's one of my work shirts, it's gonna have paint on it. It's gonna have got stained with gas and oil and you name it. You know what I mean? But the point I'm making is that it also gives me the advantage of I don't have to think about my laundry and stuff like that. It's like, okay, these are work clothes and away I go. So I have a couple of work pants. I haven't even worn them yet. So when these are worn out, I'll grab the next pair. You know what I mean? Like I have, these get too gross, I'll grab the next pair. You know what I mean? But like if you have enough work clothes for the week, enough socks, enough underwear, enough, all that stuff, and then you have enough dress clothes for special occasions. Okay, you don't need a lot. Okay, women are different. Women have like clothing they wear once, and then okay, now I need a new outfit. Okay, women are like that. Maybe not all, but a good majority of women are like that. Okay, but from men's side of view, like okay, maybe unless you work in an office building, a pair of dress pants, maybe 2, 3 pairs of dress pants, one for a funeral, one for weddings, one for whatever, casual dress pants, right? Um, to accommodate whatever. A couple of white shirts. I'm running low on white shirts. But maybe have like 3 or 4 good clean white shirts. Put them in the wrapping. Hang them up. Iron them. Have them ready to go for the next wedding or funeral, or whatever you're going to be going to, and you do that, and then suddenly you notice that you don't really have that much clothing either. Like I don't really have a lot of clothing, but there's a lot of clothing I have that it's just like, okay, well, I don't really need all that. Like I got these funny Christmas shirts that like, okay, what am I gonna do with these? Like I'm never gonna wear them in public. You know what I mean? Like it's like one has like Rudolph on it, the other one has something else on it, Big Santa or whatever. Okay, I'm only gonna wear those for Christmas, but I normally don't wear them at Christmas. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I need to get rid of those, donate them to charity or something. Uh, yeah, who knows, right? And I used to do that when I lived in the city. But every 6 months, it's like, okay, here's all my old shirts. Go down to the the Salvation Army and drop them off, and they were still good. I'd clean them up. What had ended up happening is, some of my fellow coworkers were like, seeing all these people downtown with like our store shirts. Where are they getting them from? I was like, oh, I donate them to charity. Like, stop doing that. You're making us look bad. It's like, oh, I kept doing it anyway. I was like, yeah, whatever. I said, no, like people won't make the connection between the store and the, like, yeah, like the homeless guy and whatever. Anyway, but yeah, getting all that stuff sorted out. Like I say, there's not gonna like it's gonna be strange how I sort things out down here. For the recording, like I got both mic stands down now. The drum kit. The drum kit is going to stay in that room predominantly. I thought about bringing it out here, but it's just like, well, that's the better room for it, and I still got to build a riser for that. I got to see if I can get into that soundproofing stuff today. That would be good. I just like rubber foam liner, like carpet liner stuff, and I'm just gonna make. I thought about putting stuff on the wall, but I also thought about movable panels because that might be more beneficial for me, especially like at first I was going to make a vocal booth in the bedroom there, and it's like, okay, there's really only three closets in this whole entire house, right? There's one in the bathroom, one in the bedroom, one just as you're walking in the door. And then, of course, you got this pantry thing here, which is not really a closet, but So the closets are kind of premium space. Although that would make a good vocal booth, I think what would be better is to create foldable panels so that when I'm doing my recording, I can move them around. So my vocal booth is actually my drum panel as well, and I'm going to see how much material I have there because that'll tell me what I can get away with, right? And I think I think it'll work out fairly well. It's just where do I put the panels? Most of them are going to stay in that room, but I want them light enough that you can just pick them up and kind of like those you see them in movies and stuff like that. I know a few people have like they live in a bachelor apartment. They have like a little thing that pulls out and they can go behind it and change. Yeah, it's like a change curtain. I don't know what you call it, like a change panel. You see their Oriental ones have it, all that. Well, something like that, but like just panels that you can either put together or move around, almost like office panel, like cubicle panels, but uh, the difference is they're going to have soundproofing on them. And like, because I look at like a drum soundproof booth there, it's like, yeah, that's way too expensive. So and it's too inconvenient because it's a solid, that's where it's going to stay, right? Where I want stuff to be able to move around because maybe at one point, if you ever seen that cover band called First to 11, pretty blonde girl always singing songs. I forget what song they did, but they're every week. There, I think she's married to the drummer or something like that. And they started, a couple of years ago doing like cover tunes out of their house, but they've got it edited in like really like I think what they do is they record the song in the studio, probably their home studio, and then the whole band performs it in like a room so it looks like they're playing it live. A lot of people do this, and you get the different camera angles and stuff like that, and it's really good. And there's other people that they actually do it live, And I would probably like the more raw, okay, here's take one, here's take two, here's take three, but, you know, kind of like Iron Maiden in the studio, you know what I mean? Or Rolling Stones in the studio, where they did everything live on the floor. So there's no extra editing. Problem with that is you have to contend with a drummer in a small space, okay, without drowning everybody else out around. You know, so the audio interfaces have to be able to deal with drum. So you'll need the drum, the plexiglass thing in front of the drummer, right? But if I'm going to have that, I need a riser to put it on to, you know, like be able to deal with the excessive vibration and stuff like that, so you don't end up with overtones and all you hear is just, this is what you hear when you most people record drums, or like a live band. All you hear is the drums and the cymbals, right? Like because it just resonates through everything, or the bass, you know, like that's all you hear. Everything else, every other frequency kind of gets cut out. They're getting better, like phones and stuff like that are getting better, but that's the stuff that, you know, like, okay, if I can sweet talk my friend Amanda into doing a couple of cover tunes with me here. We got this back wall that's just a nice, you know, if I put a backdrop on it, you know, so you can see I got a black tarp or curtain there. I don't know what kind of curtain it is, but anyway, it's not a shower curtain, but it's just a black curtain. I could use that there too. I have to find a way to string it. But that back wall, I'm gonna, you know, I'll measure out the back wall and see if I can find drop fabric, like a green screen or whatever. It'll have to come out to about here, like all white or whatever, and you know, for filming, you know, get different colors. So the drop screens, you know, I'll have to set up like an apparatus to be able to do that, right? So it's like, you know, I'll have to, like I say, build like a little bit of an infrastructure where I can roll out different sheets, you know, a black one, a white one, a red one, a green one, whatever, you know, like the green screen, obviously for making videos and stuff like that. I don't have green screen technology myself yet, but you know, eventually. But you get the idea of, you know, like that's a nice little studio space and natural lighting. It works really well. I mean, just that black chair. I was thinking about this black chair the other day. I'll zoom in on it for you. There you go. That black chair, like if the wall thing wasn't there and the base was this, basically painted the same, that'd be a very ominous looking chair. You know what I mean? So like that looks black and white. I'm not in black and white, but that looks like black and white. That's, it pops, right? So that chair, I have no idea where it came from. I don't know where I picked that chair up. But I do know when I got that chair, it was around the time I got these tables and stuff like that. And I bought them, and I kept that chair as a music chair. I just don't remember where I actually picked it up. And it's been a good, good for stuff like that, right? So, and once I get everything all sorted out, I'm looking at very fancy chairs right now. Do you guys remember back when I did, it was in the $5 gym? There was that chair. I wish I would have gotten that chair. That chair was so cool. It was like a Victorian era chair, but it's not that it was super comfortable, but it was just like it was a really good blogging chair. Like I got this one. I mean, this one's pretty cool because, you know, go like this, and I got to get a proper stand for my. So I go like this, right? You check out my feet. Right here, you see the bottom of my shoes if there's anything stuck to them, bubble gum or whatever. But you get the idea that, like, when I'm going to be filming, I'm going to have a lot of options with that. And if I can get other people here, like, I'm not going to invite anybody here until, you know, I know it's not too bad, because if somebody has to, you know, I don't want them distracted by the smell of like dog hair or something like that, right? So, but it's not bad in here, and it's not that I'm nose blind or anything like that to it. Like I could tell, I could tell, because I'm not down here all the time. I'm down here most of the day, but I'm not down here all the time. So the thing about it is that while I'm down here, I want to be doing stuff that's fairly productive. I mean, yeah, I lollygag a lot making the videos and all that, but at the end of the day, it's like I do get quite a bit done here. Like if you do just 15, 20 minutes of work for yourself per day, over a year's time, everything's in shape, everything's done like that. If you could do 2 hours of work for yourself every day, or even a couple of times a week, you'd be surprised how quickly things get wrangled into, into shape. It does happen quite quickly. Which I guess I got to get off my ass and start getting some stuff done, so I can possibly do some cool stuff for you today. I guess I'll start with the dishes. See if I can get more done on the veranda. I wonder if I should put those cactuses outside today because it's raining. But I'm also afraid of like overwatering them and killing them. But I know rainwater is the best thing for them. But I don't know when they were last watered. Like they look like they need water, but I'm just like, yeah, what do I do? I have a feeling that these poor plants are they're not going to live. I don't think they're getting enough sunlight here. Because when my brother and sister-in-law moved out of here, they had a lot of like lights for plants, for house plants. House plants are different to take care of, right? And cactus, again, I'm in Canada, West Quebec here, and this is not cactus territory. So how she kept these cactuses living this long, I don't know. Um, their days could be numbered here. It's hard to say, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm gonna get stuff done, so I think I've babbled enough for now. Ugh. Yeah. See where I'm gonna start. Anyway, there we go.